I want you to get
Oh,
in contact with Get Setup. Yeah.
okay, so that's what you're busy doing. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Very interesting. Well, yesterday I actually did the wrong class. And one person came in late, very late. Oh, maybe you can
Okay.
help me, Harry. Can you help
Yes.
me with this? When I share my screen and
Yes.
there's nobody in class, my picture is
Yes.
there. As soon as
Okay.
somebody comes into class, my picture
Yes.
disappears and I cannot get it back. Why?
Okay. So you don't. Okay. So you're trying to say is that when you share your screen,
Mm.
the person
And it's
only
only
sees your
me.
screen.
No,
Okay.
I'm the only one in class. So I in the
Okay.
corner I've got my picture showing. As soon
Yep.
as
Right.
somebody else comes in, then my picture
Okay.
disappears and I can't get it back. And only their thing is there. And if I'm showing things, I have no idea where I'm holding it because I can't see myself.
Okay. Okay. So have you tried the view option on the top right of your Zoom, like where you have a view, where you can have a speaker view or gallery view? Have you tried this one?
No, I haven't tried that. But why does it only go if one person is in class, if my TA is in class already, or one person is in class before I
Okay.
share, that problem
Yes.
doesn't occur. It
Okay. So it
only occurs if it's only me in class when I start to share.
Yeah, this might be something. Actually, I'll come back to you on this. Let me also
Thanks.
find out some. Yeah. Okay.
It's
I'll
such
come
an
back to you
interesting
on
thing
this.
that happens, and it's so irritating because now I've got to stop sharing to show them something, then share again,
Okay.
and then stop sharing.
Okay. Okay. I'll talk to someone and they will get back to you on this.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Harry. Much
Okay.
appreciated. Okay,
Thank you
have a good
so.
evening, Shaila time.
Shaila
Bye.
time. Okay. Bye bye. Take care.
Right, we will be going live shortly. Grab a cup of coffee and maybe something to eat because it's quite a tasty um, lesson, and you may get hungry halfway through. welcome all you late night live streamers, those of you who can't sleep or who are just finding something to do just before you go to bed. Let's see if we can entertain you with some interesting food, not only for grandchildren, great fun to do with your friends as well. I have done it with people of my own age, and often if they come over, they will ask, can't we make our own food today? And it is such fun instead of just presenting them with a plate of food. So let's see. I was hoping someone would come in before. In fact, I think there's a way I can do it so that I can keep my screen. Let's have a look and see if we can do that. So let's share our screen and turn it into a PowerPoint for you. All right. As you can see, we're going to be doing simple snacks using the food that they would normally be given in a plate, but just turning it into something that is very appealing for them to look at. So let's find out what it is. We learn from each other, so it's ideal if there are others in the class that have their cameras on and you can interact or even just interact with cameras off. If you're joining by live streaming, the best way is to participate is to join us and register for the class. And Get Set Up isn't paid to promote specific products. So if I mention something, it's purely something I use. So let's begin. Little about me. I live in Australia, been an educator for 44 years. Now I enjoy not educating, but sharing ideas on Get Set Up as a guide. I also enjoy creating and making things, including puzzles, and I have a great love of animals. Right. Cooking with grandma must not be stressful under any circumstances. Must be as simple. Any recipe you do must be simple, or any things that you're making must be very, very simple. Do never ever criticize what they've made, even if it doesn't taste great. They'll say it's good because it's something they have made. Let them experiment for themselves. Um, Old clothes are essential. I use a dustbin bag, a yellow one or white one or blue one or green one, and just cut a little slit in the closed end with the slit going down so it fits over the head and two armholes for the arms. Now it doesn't matter if they take their hand that is all floury and touch it up against their bum. It really doesn't matter. So that is a good way. But the most important thing is to have fun with your grandchildren or your friends. Now, feeding kids snacks is natural and they get hungry no matter when you fed them. They seem to have hollow legs. So you need to make sure that the snacks you give them have a combination in them if you're wanting it to be a long-term thing, or if it's only for a short-term thing, it doesn't need to have all the different things in the in it. It can just be one of the things like fiber or fat or carbs. Now, one of the fun things the children can actually make themselves is if you've got apples and grapes, and instead of making a fruit salad of apples and grapes or giving them an apple to eat and some grapes to eat in a bowl, change it around, turn it into something more interesting. What they can do is you just take your apples, slice your apples. If they're very young, slice them for them. If not, they can slice their apples and put them in a bowl. Now, one of my main things that has to be, oopsie, I've just remembered something I need to do. I'm supposed to be doing a recording. Sorry about that. Let's just continue where we were. Um, One of the things that you have to do is, well, I always do, is whatever you touch, you eat. So they've got a choice of a variety of things, but if they put that on their plate, they have to eat it. They soon learn to take the things they like, and if they particularly want something, they'll take it and eat it, even if it's not their favorite. And often they discover tastes that they haven't known before or have always thought was a kind of taste, but isn't. In fact, it's delicious. So it's one way to get them to try new things. Now, what you can do is you can cut your grapes in half, and then those become the wheels. You use your toothpicks or little short skewers to put them on. And if you think they're going to get up to mischief, you can in fact just break off the very sharp points at the end before they even put them on. But if you know that they're actually going to behave themselves, they can have their toothpicks and put them through the toothpicks. They can then have races, and whoever's car wins is the car that doesn't have to be eaten yet or does have to be eaten. Usually doesn't have to be eaten. Then they really do a proper race. You can also use your apple and cut it up and maybe add a kiwi fruit to it. Makes a wonderful owl. You can take your strawberries and your grapes and put them on a skewer, and then take just a tiny little blob of cream cheese for the eyes, and you can put either a very small raisin as part of the eye, or you can use icing sugar that is you have in your tube, and you can just put a dollop of it on there of a black color in to make the eyes. So it makes a very interesting thing. You can also, with your fruit, you can make yourself into this one hasn't got fruit in it, but the idea is there. Take a plastic Ziploc bag if you're going out somewhere, and you can put some grapes on one side. They can make it themselves. They put the fruit that they like on one side, the other fruit they like on the other side. You push your pig up through the middle, and they can decorate the pig before they go. And now they've got their butterflies, and they've got just enough of a particular fruit to eat without any of it being wasted. It's a lovely idea to put things together. Now, this snack, the zucchini pizza, is probably one of my husband and my favorite lunchtime snacks, because you can use so many things with it or nothing with it. You cut up your zucchini and you put it in the oven and allow it to cook till it's almost ready. Then onto that, sometimes we just put cheese. Other times we'll put cheese and tomato, or we'll put cheese and some mince that's left over, or pepperoni, or whatever we want to put on. And even sometimes we'll put a tomato base on top of the zucchini, pop it in the oven just till the cheese is melted, and you have an awesome pizza that doesn't have any bread dough with it. It's purely made from vegetables, and it is delicious. It is so easy to put it together. Sometimes I use mozzarella cheese, sometimes I use Parmesan cheese, sometimes I use just cheddar cheese. It really doesn't matter. A little bit of salt and pepper on it, absolutely gorgeous. Other things that you can use for your lunchtime snacks are, if you're going to have a hamburger, just cut the top of the burger open, move it slightly apart, you've got a bug or a beetle. If you want to have a croissant, then you can use sausages with it and make it into a crab. If you've got a sandwich, you can turn it into all types of people, animals, creatures. We'll do those later. Or you can just take what would have been in a salad and create a picture with it. Then they eat their picture. They find this such fun to do. Now, our ingredients. Here is another one that is also a favorite of my husband and mine. We really do enjoy doing it. We find that if you have a lot of carrot left over, he likes to munch a carrot. I'm not the greatest at munching it. And so for me, I find that I am able to There we go. I grate up the carrot and then I can enjoy the carrot as well. I do enjoy carrots, but my teeth don't anymore. So what you do is you grate some carrot. You then take some breadcrumbs, some olive oil, some chopped garlic, and 2 eggs and some salt. You just mix them all together. The idea is the simpler, the better. So this, you put it all together and then you portion it out into little bits and pop it on a baking sheet in the oven and allow it to get crispy. It really tastes delicious. You can then stack them up if you want, or you can just eat them as individuals. They are really tasty to eat. Now, whoever's heard of a cake that isn't a cake, doesn't have any bread, eggs, milk, or so on with it. This is a cake made entirely out of pineapples, cream cheese, and yogurt. And what you do with this is you slice up your pineapple. You can make a 1-layer cake, a 2-layer cake, a 3-layer cake. It's entirely up to you. I usually find that the most I go is 2 layers because it's difficult to cut after that. What you do is you put your first layer of pineapple, then you mix together your yogurt and your cream cheese. And you can put a little bit of sugar in if you wish, if you want to make it sweet. I use stevia, cooking stevia, because it's natural and much better for the children to eat and ourselves. And if I want to, you can put sprinkles on top. And you just build your cake, or each person has their own little mini cake that they are able to eat. The children really enjoy this as a fun dessert or as a fun afternoon tea treat. Now, often we have to make some quick snacks for them. Sometimes we make them, sometimes they make them, sometimes we do it together. So, looking at what I usually do is I make one and they try and copy it or make their own version of it. And that is great fun. What I've done for the first one is I've taken a rice cake and I've put some nut butter on. If it's just for the people who are at the table at the moment, you can certainly use peanut butter if they are not allergic. But if you think that somebody else might try it, rather use a different nut butter because most of the allergies are for peanuts. And so you use your macadamia nut butter, your almond nut butter, and that forms the basis for putting everything else on. They've got some banana for the eyes and a grape, or they can also use a blackberry for an eye. You can use a little piece of cheese in the center as the nose. You can use your Fruit Loops as the feathers, and 2 little slices of banana make the wings. It makes an awesome looking owl and much more fun to eat than just eating something that has had something slapped on top of it. If you have got cheese and tomatoes as part of what you're eating, and you've got some basil for a dinner party with adults or a snack tray with adults, basil, tomato, and mozzarella cheese. Oh, that makes such a delicious flavor, particularly if you've got the little cherry tomatoes. A nice fun snack afterwards is to use your cooking chocolate, half a banana. You dip the banana in chocolate. You then add eyes, a nose with M&Ms, Smarties, any of the things you can find, 2 little feet, and you've got your penguin. Just makes a banana so much more inviting than a straight banana. So the idea is everybody says that food is in the eye of the beholder, and this is so true. So what we are doing is we're putting it into the eye of the beholder. We are making it interesting for them to eat. Now, you've got a dessert at the end of a meal with your friends. You can do it with grandchildren. You can do it with adults. What you do is you take the fruit that you were going to chop up into little squares, stick in the fruit salad. Boring. Now you take the fruit, you leave it on the table. Particularly for adults. Children, you can chop it up into different sizes or break it up already for them. But for adults, leave them in the whole position and see what they come up with. You can choose a theme. You might choose at the beach or under the sea. What sort of things will you see? Oh, I can use some, we call them nachis in South Africa. I think they are called, they're not an orange, they're smaller and you take them apart. Mandarin, I think you call them mandarins. As my stones on the beach, I've taken a banana, chopped it and shaped it to make the stem of the tree, and I've taken kiwi fruit and cut it up to make the leaves of the palm trees. What a lovely way to serve something. And what you can do is each person can make, and then you can all taste what they've made, or each person can keep. If you're worried about spreading germs, just remember to wash the hands well anyway before you start anything like this. You can make butterflies, bugs, beetles. You can make under the sea creatures. You can make octopi. You can make crabs. You can make so many different things. And you can also just have a few different types of fruit and bananas. And then what you do is you slice the banana down through the middle and make a banana boat. And then each person decorates their banana boat and cuts it up into the number of pieces of the people at the table. Everybody then gets a little piece of the other one's banana boat, and you can have great fun critting it, telling them what you think of it, whether you would try it yourself, whether it's something you wouldn't try again. Some people make it just for the fun of it. Other people make it really delicious, but that's a part of the fun. And while they are making it, they are discussing all sorts of things. You hear so many things from your grandchildren that you wouldn't hear from if you asked them the direct question, how was school today? The answer is always inevitably fine. But in fact, if you just take the time to ask them, to talk to them when they are busy doing something like this, it sparks a whole conversation and they talk nonstop about all sorts of things. So it really is a good way to get them to open up. The same goes for your friends. They are busy making things, they will discuss holidays, they will discuss childhood memories, they will discuss all sorts of things that may not have come into conversation, particularly if you haven't known them that long. So it is great fun to do. Now, an ordinary sandwich. Why dish up some ordinary sandwiches for lunch if you've got your friends over? Why not turn them into owls? If you've got salami and you've got avocado and you've got some walnuts or almonds and some egg, instead of just putting those out for everybody to help themselves, why not make a couple of these samis or sandwiches and put them on the table? You can also have the bits that if they don't like something that's on them, they can actually make their own, or you just make one or two, put all the pieces there, and they go ahead and make their own. And that is also fun. You'll be surprised how creative some of your friends can be. You can make cats, dogs, you can make bears, you can make so many different things. You can even make ice creams out of a piece of bread, a little bit of tomato, some egg, cucumber, and a bit of mayo. I've all of a sudden got a really gorgeous ice cream cone. If they are a little bit of a picky eater, why don't you make your meatball and then put your spaghetti around it like hair and turn it into a face? It's great to have a fun face like that. If you're serving up some scones at tea time, why not turn them into a butterfly? Makes for a talking point. If it's round about Halloween time, you can always make the broomstick with a pretzel and cheese. It makes an awesome broomstick. You can have a toasted salmi where you just change it a little by putting the teeth coming out and the salami coming out. And then afterwards, they can pop everything in and eat it. But when it arrives, it has a very good appeal and everything looks so appealing. You can also color your spaghetti. You can cook all your spaghetti together and then just take some and put it in another pot with a bit of food coloring and cook it for a little longer. It very quickly absorbs the color, so you can have blue, green, yellow, purple, pink, doesn't matter. You can make rainbow spaghetti. You'll be amazed how quickly rainbow spaghetti is eaten instead of just the normal white spaghetti. If they've got favorite cartoon characters, they can turn their piece of bread into a cartoon character and give it eyes and a mouth and shape it the way you want. So it is the sky's the limit as to what you do with your piece of bread or two pieces of bread to turn them into something really interesting. And they have such fun making the different things. So it really is a great way to make a meal an entertaining and interesting time instead of just food's on the table, come and eat, let's eat. Mind what you're doing. Oh, you've just dropped something on the floor. No, let it be. Let them enjoy their cooking. Let them enjoy eating their own homemade snacks or the wonderful snacks that you have made for them. Right, now let's continue as my chair continues to go down. I have a chair that's going down at the moment. Right, the next picture that we have is to do with small snacks. If you are wanting something small, not a big lunch, just a filler, a little snack that fills in, what you do is you take your biscuits, you can take nuts, you can take cheese, you can take black grapes, you can take blackberries or blueberries, you can take cucumber, and they can, even little bits of carrot, and they can create their own animals. You can set them a theme for the day. Today you're going to make small animals, or today you're going to make dangerous animals, or today you're going to make the biggest animals you can think of, or dinosaurs, or you can choose what you want to make. And so you end up with your snacks looking so interesting. If you're having some friends over, why not do that to your snacks? When it arrives on the table, it becomes a talking point. And you'll find the next time you go to them, they're trying something. They can't let you get away with doing it. They will have come up with their own ideas. And it's great fun to share these ideas. If you've got little sausages, instead of just putting the sausages there, why not just cut them? If you prick the skin, it leaves a perfect eye hole there. And then all you do is slice the little legs. Suddenly you've got these beautiful little octopus pie. One octopus, two octopus, three octopus. There are three or more octopus there. If you're not sure, I think it's octopi actually is the correct one. Now, you can also take your fruit and put it onto skewers. You can do it in colors, you can do it in patterns, you can do all sorts of things with it. They then take their skewer. If they're going to play outside, break off the point so they can't hurt themselves, and then let them go and eat it outside. But do make sure, what I normally do is I say, take one piece and go. Come back and get the next piece and go, because they get distracted. They put it down on the ground and the ants have breakfast. And they come back and, oh, it's all covered in ants and it's all covered in sand. I can't eat it. And you've wasted food. So rather let them just take one piece at a time, come back for the next. A very edible small snack is to take your cucumber, take some cheese and some ham or roast beef or salami or anything you would like to put in the center, and you put the cucumber, then some cheese, then your meat, then some cheese, then your cucumber, put it onto a stick, and it makes a delicious snack. It's a one mouthful or two mouthful snack, but it's got so many nutrients in it instead of adding the bread part to it. So, in fact, it is excellent. All right, so those are some of the things that we had. Unfortunately, with having nobody in class and nobody to interact with, the class has finished very quickly. But I do hope that you have been able to get some really good ideas and be able to do it. But I do think if you are live streaming, it is so much easier to just register. Then you get the notes, you get the information you require, you get all that is needed. The recipes that we had at the beginning are all in my notes, but as it's only live streamers, let's just go back and check on them so that you can remember what they were. We had the apple racing cars, which were apples and grapes. We had the zucchini, which are pizzas, which, as I said before, are so delicious. You can put whatever you want as your topping. And so it really works very well. I don't cut my zucchini diagonally. I just cut them straight down. Boom, 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 boom. And I find that that works very well. But if you want to make them longer and thinner, then obviously cutting them at a diagonal does make them a bigger zucchini. I suppose it depends on the size zucchini you've got. The last one we got was this size, so it was quite big enough to be able to make into a pizza. And the second last one that we learned about was the carrot cheddar patties. And those are really delicious. One of the things I said at the very beginning was always remember the simpler, the better. 2, 3, 4 ingredients, that's it. If you can do that, then you know that there will be nobody thinking that they've got too much or they can't remember which one they've done or they can't remember what they've done. This way gets rid of all of that, and you are able to very easily know and understand what you are doing. Children like to do things for themselves, but they don't want complicated. Soon as it gets complicated, because they are the generation where instant gratification takes place, they don't want a problem and a pitfall. And so they would rather give up than try and do it properly. So it's very important to make things simple and easy for them and to encourage them if they are finding difficulty doing something. Do it on another one to show them, do it somehow that they still get the aha of, I did it myself, when they finally do it on their own. And the last one that we had as a food was our pineapple sprinkle cake, where you use yogurt, cream cheese, and your pineapple. It also takes, because some pineapples are quite tart, you don't worry about that because the cream cheese and the yogurt take away that very strong tartness that we sometimes have. So I really urge you all to try at least one of these recipes as you go along. You need to give it a try and see what you can do. Remember, using simple ingredients makes all the difference. Using your little fruits to create amazing creations also is something that we forget to do. We're so used to cutting up the fruit and sticking it in a fruit salad. We don't use our imagination. We don't use our creativity. It seems to just be, it's so much easier to just buy it ready-made, or it's so much easier to just chop it all up and throw it all in. Try at least once a day to do something that you didn't ordinarily do. And it mustn't be from the same side of the tracks, I suppose I would say. You choose something different each time for when you are doing it. Sometimes it can be fruit, sometimes it can be little biscuits, sometimes it can be savory, sometimes it can be sweet. So choose different genre in order to do it. Don't make plain sandwiches anymore. Obviously, you will at most of the time, but every now and again, spice your life up, even if it's just you. How can I make this sandwich so exciting? How can I bring a smile to my face? What can I do to make it different? And by doing that, you bring a smile to your face and anybody else who happens to be around or see it, or if you take your picture of the thing you've made and you post it either on Get Set Up, or you post it on Facebook, or you post it somewhere, then you are able to show your friends what you're doing. Put it onto your WhatsApp, put it onto your Telegram. Say, this is my lunch today. How about you? Issue a challenge to your friends to come up with more creative ideas than you've got. That's also a lovely thing to do. It's quick, it's not time consuming, and yet it is so much fun. So a lovely thing to be able to do. When you're serving your snacks, try and make them attractive, make them different. You'll find that people will talk about your little party, whether it's 1 or 2 people, or if it's 100 people. They will talk about your party and their friends will hear. Friends will want to know more about it. Friends of friends are going to want to know. And so what you've got to do is come up with some lovely ideas. Remember to post them and Get Set Up. Look what I made. Other people will be inspired by that and will then want to try themselves. Right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being in class today. I hope you have a lovely afternoon, evening, or bedtime, and I'll see you all again someday. Bye for now.